Hello, my name's Tim, welcome to Tim Burbage Reads, and today I'm going to be doing a book review for Heretic by Craig Martelle and Brad Torgensen. This is a self-published book that I read on my Kindle. I honestly can't remember where I got it from on the Kindle store. I don't remember buying it, but you do get quite a lot of free books in bundles and things like that, so maybe it came from there. Something that I wanted to do more of this year was read self-published books. And this is the first in the xenophobia saga. Now, this is xenophobia with a Z. Make that very clear, because the author makes it very clear. This is a spacefaring adventure action romp. Ultimately, that's what this kind of story is. And it shows to me that one of the many differences between self-pub and traditional publishing. Self-publishing is designed to hook readers in and to get them to buy the next one. That's the point of it, is that you release series very close together or all at once, and the aim is, hey, we'll give you the first book for free or for very cheap to hook you in because you want to find out the rest of the story. And this does that. This definitely does that. Traditional publishing, the aim is to tell a complete story in one book, so that the person buys that book and is satisfied, and then in the end, in a year's time, whenever the publisher then releases the next book, the person can then buy that then, and that's how it goes. So traditionally, in traditional publishing, an author releases probably one book a year, if not less so. And the publisher decides when that book is released. In self-publishing, authors release books a lot quicker. This is likely due to the fact that they know readership is going to wane and go look at something else. The lifespan of a book generally isn't that long. Also, there's less time for editing, processing, book cover design, page layout, because the author does that themselves. They don't go to consultants, or they don't go to the publishers, and the publisher doesn't organize it for them, and then it, carries on. I say all that up front because I think my enjoyment of the book suffered slightly due to the way that self-publishing works. This is set in a world where you can fly between planets in space, and there's no people in this world. Everyone is an animal person. You've got tiger people, bear people, gorilla people, and wolf people. They are kind of at war, but not constantly. And there's kind of like an unspoken war. Everyone's at peace, but everyone still shoots each other. It's a bit of an odd setup. And the main character is titled a heretic, because they are looking for the truth of their origins of a species. And the main character, who's a tiger person, gets all of the groups together, basically one of each. There's a crew of 5, there's 2 tiger people, and then 1 wolf, 1 gorilla, 1 bear person. And the aim is to go find out the truth. That sounds like a fairly interesting premise. The actual plot, what happens, is lots of space battles, and they almost get hijacked, and they have to break into here and do this, they have to break into here and do that, because they want to, do some investigating to find out the origin of the species. So there's a lot of archaeological work with museums they need to break into, and then they need to steal a gene sequencer and stuff like that. And each person on the crew has their own job. A big pro of this book is the crew themselves and how they interact with each other. There's lots of banter, they all have nicknames for each other, terms are used interchangeably, and you can kind of enjoy it for the chemistry between them. Plot-wise, I don't think there is enough plot in this book. This book is the first of a trilogy. It's a little bit more than a first act. We don't see enough of the main plot of trying to find the origin of the species here. We start doing that, and then we get sidetracked by side missions, and the side missions end up being more of the story. I found that a bit frustrating. Sorry, my camera was slipping there. One thing as well is that I didn't get enough of the drama of being called a heretic. The main character is sent away by their parents. This happens very early on in the book. And we don't really deal with any of the social implications of that. We don't see the character go through any stress or introspection about how they've given up their life to go pursue this ultimate truth. We don't see much of that. It's too busy focusing on space battles. If you like space battles and action, that's great. It's actually really good. I felt like it was missing stakes because I didn't really get enough of the main story. I did notice one spelling error and one bit of dialogue where I thought, oh, isn't that another character is meant to say that? And then I started looking through and realised a lot of the characters sounded pretty similar. I would have liked a bit more diversity in character voices. Overall, I enjoyed it. Did this hook me enough to pay for the second and the third? No, it didn't. I can understand why it would though. And overall, I gave it 3 stars. It was a pretty good read. I just think if it was traditionally published, I'd get a lot more of the main plot. That's what I feel. This feels like an episode of a TV show rather than a series of a TV show, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on what self-publishing and that kind of episodic model versus traditional publishing and kind of doing a whole big story. Let me know if you've read this book. I doubt it, but you never know. And I'll see you in the next one. Right now, all you need to do is comment, like, subscribe, and get out of my house!